Here we have an HP Spectre laptop that came in for liquid damage, no power. We already disassembled the board, and the board looks something like this. The first thing I want to do is quick visual inspection. Big Boss already pointed me to a problematic area, but we need to look under the microscope and see what's going on. You cannot always see everything with the naked eye, especially when dealing with microscopic components. I mean, the back here, if you look at the back, it's all shielded. So I doubt we're gonna have anything on the back, and most of the back is empty. Let me show you what I mean. You see the board from the back? It's mostly empty. We can look at the edges and see if there's anything obvious, but deep down, it's mostly empty. While the sheet is partially out, why not inspect the edges? Because if this side were to get water, it would be right on the edges. And you see, nothing obvious. No components here. It's pretty tight. The edges are pretty tight. Flip the board, and we're gonna inspect front of the board. That's our Thunderbolt controller. I mean, the board does not look like it suffered liquid damage, right? But we're coming to that one area that suffered liquid damage, as I was told by the boss of all bosses. He does the initial inspection. He looks at the board, he tests the board. Replace the charger, memory, hard drive. Look at this, right there. So it looks like we have a damaged. See, we have a power board right here on the side, and that power board connects this to this. Right now we have a problem with the power board, and luckily we have a similar donor board. We're gonna grab that board off the donor laptop, and we're gonna replace this one. We're gonna replace the Flux cable, and we're also gonna replace this connector right here. What we will not replace is the speaker connector. We're not gonna restore 4 broken pads for just one side speaker. This laptop has a left and right side speaker. The customer can listen to the right side speaker or the left one, whichever one is on the other side. He can use Bluetooth, whatever the case may be. I already told the customer, anytime we have a device that is liquid damaged, we only work on it for the sake of data recovery or to get the laptop to power on and boot up Windows. We're not gonna fix every little detail on that motherboard, such as, let's say, a microphone problem, speaker problem, camera problem, keyboard problem. That's not gonna be part of the repair. We are fixing a no power issue. We make sure that we tell every customer with a liquid damage device that we only fix liquid damage for either data recovery or so that we can power on that device to a point where you can boot up Windows. And that's the case for liquid damage devices only. But let's say a customer mailed over a motherboard with a broken speaker connector and pads, then of course we would restore those traces, replace the connector, and we charge the customer accordingly. But right now we do not even know that by replacing the board, the connector, and the Flux cable, if we're gonna have a functional laptop. We do not know that yet. But that's what I see right now. And all the customer cares about at this point is for us to power on this laptop. That's what we're gonna do. So I have the donor board right here, and the connector is right over here. That's the connector. How are we gonna desolder this connector so we can solder it on the customer's board? That's a very good question. What we need to do is flip the board, remove that shield, and we're gonna most likely heat up from the bottom so we do not end up burning that connector. We're gonna apply heat here to desolder this connector here. Before we do this, why not desolder the customer's connector first, prep the pads, that way we can remove the connector from the donor board and apply it straight to the customer's board. I do not know if we have any missing components on this board. I'll compare with the donor because I see something going on right here. That's the donor board, and it looks like those are empty by default. Great. Now, how did that connector break? I have no idea. The customer may have attempted something and ended up breaking both connectors. Look at this, I already see broken traces. That's crazy. Look at this. What in the world is going on? Look at this Hiroshima. Look at this Hiroshima. What can you do? That board is burned down to the bones. How are we gonna do this? It looks like we're gonna grind. Oh, wait a minute. I think we may still have the pads unless this one is another layer. I do not see copper here. Okay, so we have nothing here. We have something here. We barely have something here. And we have nothing here. So right now I'm not sure if this is the layer that we are supposed to be working with or if this one is another layer. We're gonna have to measure. Here. Good. Good. So we're gonna have to mask this. That's probably ground. This is good. And this one is good. It's doable. We can do it. Hopefully that's the problem with the board, and we do not have any other underlying issues. We'll see. And I do not need this as well, just in case. We'll play it safe. And that's the NorthridgeFix UV mask. You can purchase directly from us, NorthridgeFix.com. Click on shop, add to cart, whatever you need. UV mask, UV light, Flux, soldering stations, hot air stations, thermal cameras, power supplies. This amazing microscope. Just add to cart, check out, pay, and we almost always ship out same day. Now we're gonna desolder that connector right there. I'm gonna put the board on the edge of my bench. The board is actually sticking out about an inch away from the bench, so I can place my hot air station under it without burning my desk. Now we're gonna wait until solder liquefies. We're almost there. Perfect. Look at that connector. We did not burn it. We did not deform it. We did not damage it because we only have one try. And we're gonna have to tin the pads. Now we're gonna use our NF mini pen. All right, and the connector is solid from one side and 4 legs in the front. Once that cable is plugged in, there's no reason why the customer should take out that cable. Now we can add hot glue on the sides, but it's not needed. All I want to do is measure. We're gonna measure from here. We have a connection. We're gonna measure from here to right there. We have a connection. And we're gonna measure from here to right here. We have a connection, and we're gonna measure from here to right here. We have a connection. We are done. Hopefully that fixes the problem. All right, so I'm gonna hand the board over to Big Boss to reassemble and test, and I'll be back to finish the video. Hopefully that fixes the problem. I handed the board over to Big Boss to reassemble and test, and he handed me this humongous Dell laptop that has a 50% chance of being fixed based on my experience working on those laptops. Now, he did not remove the motherboard entirely. I told him, let me take a look, do some measurements, and if we need to, we can disassemble the board. This one will not go in this video, maybe in a future video if we have success. I have a lot of Dell Alienwares that I worked on in the past. You can watch those videos. But for this one, I do not want to combine 2 videos, 2 repairs in one video. Big Boss is done with the reassembly. And look at this. Look at this beauty. Wow. Where's the flex cable? So we replaced the board, the flex cable, and that's the connector that we soldered, and we did not do the speaker cable. and the laptop is on. Beautiful. Very nice. Thank you, Big Boss, the boss of all bosses. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.